Welcome to today's panel, everyone. Today we have Tony Saccardi here to talk to us about transforming habits. If at any time during our conversation you would like to share a bit about your experience or ask any questions you might have for Tony, we invite you to do that. We'd love you to do that. Just type your question into the Q&A box or the chat box. You can see there's a note here in the chat box, so you can use that at any time, or you can raise your hand and that will let you speak to us via audio. And if you're joining us on YouTube, you can download the app, Meditation Live. Just search for that in your favorite app store, and that will let you interact with us there as well. Welcome, Tony.
Thank you, Kat. Welcome, everyone. Shall we start it with a centering meditation?
That will be lovely. Thank you.
All right, let's do that then. Find your comfortable position. If you're sitting on a chair, have your feet flat on the floor. Your spine relatively straight without forcing anything. And you can let your hands rest on your lap. Take a moment to adjust the position to make it comfortable, stable, relaxed, and also alert and dignified. And when you are ready, slowly, gently close your eyes. And bring your awareness to breathing. Simple awareness of the movement of your breath, your belly and your chest rising up and falling down as you inhale and you exhale. And as you connect with the breath, notice what else is there for you in your body, in your mind, how you feel. Simply noticing without any judgment. Simply being here right now with yourself. Noticing what's going on inside. Not trying to change anything, simply noticing what's there. Keep your connection with the breathing, the movement of your breath, and slowly on your own time, come back to your feet on the floor, your hands on your lap. You can stretch a little bit if you feel like it. And when you are ready, slowly open your eyes. Welcome back.
Thank you, Tony. That was a great way to start our discussion today. I thought I'd kick things off by asking you a little bit about how meditation can be used or can help us in kind of transforming. I mean, that seems like the obvious word to use, but transforming some of the habits that we'd rather change about ourselves. So these can be thought habits, maybe in our speech or in our actions. And if there's any connection there with meditation.
Definitely. And everything is connected in the body, in ourselves. Our posture, the way we move, the way we think, and what we feel, all of it is connected. So it's very easy in that way to create some habits, and some habits that may not be the best habits for ourselves, and not even being aware of it. So the first step in transforming our habits is to be aware of them. And to be aware of them, we need more awareness, and that's something meditation can help us with. When we sit quietly, closing our eyes, going inside, and trying to quiet down everything and to be present, simply present with our body, our breath, then that's when we can be aware of our thought patterns. What comes up in our mind? What is it telling us? That's when we can be aware of maybe feelings inside, or sensations in the body that are connected to the feelings. So we start becoming more and more aware of what's going on inside when we meditate. And that stays with us when we stop the meditation, we go out in life and do the things we do. Some of it stay with us, and we are able to be more aware, to realize, I'm having interesting thoughts right now. What does that mean? Oh, look at my posture. And how is that driving my feelings and my thoughts? And then we have a chance to change things. So the things that we can change, that we can control, are our thoughts and our body posture and movement. So that two things we can act on that may change the way we feel inside. So when we talk about transforming habits, that's kind of the area, that's connected to meditation.
That makes a lot of sense. I know that something that meditation has started to help me with is just realizing that um, I am not those thoughts or those
Mhm.
habits,
Mhm.
that there is some kind of distance there. And that is quite empowering. It gives you this realization that, well, then if it's something that I want to change, maybe I can change it. So that's been helpful in that sense.
Yeah, and that's so important what you just said. That the fact that we realize that we are not our thoughts, and the same thing can happen with other things as well. People tend to identify with their thoughts, but especially with their feelings and a lot of other things. So to start with the thoughts, but little by little you go a little bit further, and then a little bit further, to the point where you will not identify with your own emotions, with your own feelings, and that's really liberating in a way.
Indeed. And what are your thoughts on replacing habits that we aren't really fond of, that we know aren't helping us, with better ones? And I'm kind of thinking about meditation itself as a habit, um, and making this a regular part of our lives. And I think this is something that I know I struggle with. Maybe some people here struggle with. It would be interesting to know um, if people here struggle with making meditation a daily practice.
Mhm. So I see two questions here. One is how to get rid of a habit we don't want, and the other one, how to implement a habit we want. So to eliminate a habit that we don't want, the key is to be aware of it, to bring awareness. And so I don't know what it's going to be, but if you have like something that you keep doing that's kind of annoying to yourself, you need to go in there and really study it, and maybe change things around a little bit so you can be more aware of it. Um, Ask for feedback, people to give you feedback on what you're doing. That can be powerful as well. Often people can be a mirror to ourselves and help us understand things about ourselves that we cannot see on our own, but we can see it in someone else. So that can be helpful as well. And it's very important to not judge. When we start judging, then we get into a defensive mode. And that keeps us from seeing more, because now we're defensive, like, oh, that's enough. I'm not really like this. No, you're not really like that. It's just a habit and you can change it. So not to judge it and to look at it as a habit, like a mechanism happening inside of you, that you can eventually change if you really understand it, is a way to go to change habits. It may take a long time, and it takes a lot of resiliency and acceptance as well, and humility, but it's possible. And as far as implementing a new habit, at the beginning it may seem strange. It's like, we talk about meditation, and if you haven't meditated before, you don't have a meditation practice. Suddenly you tell everyone in your house, "Hey, I'm going to meditate," and that feels strange. Like, you feel already their response is going to be like, what are you doing? It's not natural. And then you go maybe in your room or somewhere, you close the door and you sit down, and everything feels awkward because you're not used to it. So you need to get past that, the awkwardness and everything else, and have a resolve that you're going to do it, a strong resolve that's going to help you with implementing the habit. And set some rules for yourself, not to overdo it, to do it too much, because people get very enthusiastic at the beginning, and they meditate like for 1 hour, and then they stop for 2 months. So that's not working very well. It's better to go slowly and consistently to develop the habit. So I suggest for beginners, for example, to set 10 minutes aside every morning, as soon as you get out of bed, as soon as possible after you get out of bed, to take those 10 minutes to go in your room to meditate for those 10 minutes and to stick with it. So once you started the 10 minutes, there is no, oh, I have too many thoughts, I need to do something else, I forgot this, I forgot that. Try as much as possible to stay with it for the 10 minutes, no matter what happens during the meditation. And if you do that for 1 month, then you will get the start of a habit. You're just about to create the habit. And if you continue after that even longer, and it takes about 2 months, I think, like 40 days, 60 days, for depending on the people, then you will have created the habit. It's going to become a lot easier to do it.
Yeah, you gave some really great advice there. Going back to what you were saying about getting feedback from other people, and just not judging what comes up, because I think it takes quite a bit of vulnerability in us to admit that we have a habit that we want to change. So thank you for kind of reminding me of that. Um, but also with meditation, so kind of preparing ourselves for the fact that it will be hard. Not pretending that we're going to have this, perfect hour long, you know, transcendent experience, and realizing that, this might be hard. I'm beginning
Mhm.
this, and it might feel, like you said, awkward at first. Often does. But to kind of just say to yourself and be gentle with yourself and say, yeah,
Mhm.
but if I can stick through these 10 minutes, then that's all I had to do today. And
Mhm.
tomorrow I'll try to do the same thing. And yeah, that's really
Mhm.
comforting to know that it doesn't have to
Mhm.
be so transformative every time.
It helps if you've done it in the past, like if you implemented successfully a habit, like going to exercise, 3 times a week or something like that. Then to bring back to your mind what it took to get there will help you.
Indeed. And what are your thoughts on people who, I mean, there are lots of people who go on these meditation retreats. And I
Mm.
think, is there something to be said for doing something that is more intensive to kind of kickstart a habit? Or do you think it's really just best to, do, keep it like small and, daily at first? Uh, and maybe we can't just go on a week-long retreat and expect that to be everything we needed to kick
Yeah.
out this.
So if I understand where you're going to a retreat like once a year and doing like a marathon, 11 days silent retreat or whatever, and then not doing anything in between, it's not really it. And but going to retreat has a lot of values. And if you're a beginner, if it's your first time meditating, you may want to learn a little bit before you go on the retreat. But going on the retreat is going to be very productive to kind of like to get started on that path. So learning enough about meditation so you feel comfortable you can do it, then going to an intensive retreat of 5 days or more, up to 10 days, that will really jumpstart your meditation practice. When you come back from the retreat, you'll feel empowered, you'll feel like a different person, lots of possibilities for you, and it's going to be easier to implement your meditation practice.
Right.
And the other thing that they say is that, and that I experienced myself, is that going to a retreat once a year is probably a good idea, because at some point the meditation practice, no matter how good you are, is going to fade a little bit, and you need to be invigorated, and a retreat really helps for that. So having both is the best.
That's really good to know. Yeah, so it's if we do go on a retreat or something like a bigger event like that, not to let it stop at the end of the retreat, to keep something up. But I like that idea of, particularly for anyone here who is a bit more experienced
Mhm.
and they're feeling that their practice is, I don't know, limited in some way. That might
The main
be.
thing, the main thing is the everyday practice. That's the main thing. That's what you want to get to. And the retreat is really going to help you achieve that.
And have you personally always found it easy to kind of fit uh, the habit of meditation into your life? Has it always been a routine for you?
No, it's really difficult even today. I'm not alone. I don't live alone. I have a wife. I have a daughter, and we share the house. So I have to tell everyone, like, when I'm meditating, so I don't get disturbed. And I have to have a little sign on my door as a reminder. And sometimes I have a schedule and they have a different schedule, and we need to accommodate the schedule. So it's good to be able to talk about them. I'll openly talk about it with them, that I need to do it, and they respect it. So that's really helpful. But it's not. You're very lucky if you can set time like every day at the same time and do it at the same time, and nobody is gonna have a problem with that, and it fits your schedule. That's great. Just do it. For most of us, it's going to be hard to have a schedule like that. So you need to accommodate that. So, for example, for myself, I have my goal is to at least 20 minutes a day. And if I cannot get it done in the morning, then I still have lunchtime. If I cannot get it done at lunchtime, I still have like the afternoon, late afternoon. And last resort is going to be when I go to bed. But I can do it once a day for sure.
That's really great as well. So you've kind of got these like a follow through, like plan B and plan C and plan
Mhm.
D
Yeah.
if you can't make that morning session. And I
Mhm.
guess this is probably because I was going to ask you about, you know, the time of day, does that matter? And one thing I'm realizing that is if you plan to do it in the morning, at least you've got these multiple times in the rest of your day to get it in if you miss it.
Yeah, and let's not forget we have different types of meditations as well. So even when everything seems to be lost, no, it's not. You can also still do something. So for example, if I skip the whole day and I feel like, oh, I was not able to do it today, when I go to bed, I still can listen to a yoga nidra meditation, for example, and that's excellent. And that's a good meditation to do before going to bed. Um, if I am outside, I can do a walking meditation. So maybe I cannot sit down with my eyes closed somewhere. It's not possible because I'm at a conference or something like this. I can always go outside for 15 minutes and walk around and use my senses to listen to everything. And that's a meditation as well. So it's always possible to find ways to meditate when we really set the aim to do it.
Yeah, I love that. And it's something that I've learned from Meditation Live as well, that we have these different options. So Yoga Nidra was one that I learned from this app, and um, affirmations, all of these different styles, I guess, of meditation that can fit in at different parts of our day, different parts of our lives. I think
Yeah.
that's really helpful.
If we were to rank the best times to meditate, the best time to meditate is when you are barely awake. And to be honest, for me, the best time ever has been like when I wake up at 3 or 4 in the morning, and then I go to meditate. Those are my best meditation practices. Then after that is when after you wake up. So you wake up, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, whatever time you wake up, to find those 10 minutes during that time frame, just after you got out of bed. That's probably the best time. Then after there is lunchtime, and then there is what we call happy hours meditation. Like after you're done with the day and you're ready to go to the next part of your day, between the two, it's good to have that break and do a meditation practice at that time. And then lastly, there will be like before you go to bed. But that one is a bit less practical because if you eat too much, if you drink, whatever, the meditation may not work as well.
Yes, and there is something to be said for that. Those really early hours before, and I think it might have been Corrine possibly the other day saying this, before the rest of the world has woken up. So you don't feel that urge to, has somebody emailed me? Do I need to respond to something? Um, Having those early hours, I think there's really something about that. Um,
Mhm.
I'm also really loving the idea of like you having a door in your house which just has like meditation in progress on it.
I have a sticker, and
Oh,
it
you
may go
do?
from one door to the next, depending on what room is available to me. Yeah.
That's amazing. See, it's tips like this I think are actually very, very helpful for people. It's
So talking about this, about rooms and everything else, something that I've learned that's very useful that people have told me really works for them is to create a ritual. So different people do different things. Some people have a candle, incense, and they have a picture on the wall, whatever works for you. But if you can create a small ritual before the meditation and after the meditation, that may help you create a stronger habit.
Yes, I've heard smells as well. So if somebody wants to burn incense or like you said, like light a nice candle, is this is there a reason for that? That something like that would like
Yeah.
make us feel like we're about to meditate? How does that
Yeah,
work?
it's gonna the way to understand this is like we have different brains, right? We have the our rational brain, and we know meditation is good for us. So rationally, we want to meditate, but that part of the brain is kind of weak. It's not very strong in terms of will and getting us to do things we want to do. The part of us that's really strong in making decisions is emotions. So by doing things like involving a ritual, having a candle, a picture, incense, whatever you like, you involve that part of yourself that's more emotional. And that's going to help you um, create the habit a lot faster and a lot easier because now you have like that brain too on your side wanting to meditate.
Nice. Yeah, we've got all of our brain resources
Mhm.
gunning for us. I love that. Well, thank you, Tony. I'm just going to check to see if anyone has any last questions or comments you'd like to add. Feel free to do that. Um, and if not, we'll close out with another practice, if possible, Tony.
All right, I'm closing with a simple meditation, a breathing meditation that you can do at any time. So whether you have 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you can always do that meditation. Even if you are walking around and you have your eyes open, you can still do that meditation. It's simple awareness of your breath. Very, very simple. So we'll do that for about 5, 6 minutes, and then we'll close the session. So let's get started. Go back into your comfortable position, feet flat on the floor, hands on your lap. And when you're ready, close your eyes. And once more, connect with your breathing, starting with the movement of your breath, your belly, your chest rising up and falling down as you inhale and you exhale. Simple awareness of the movement of your breathing. And let that awareness of your breathing connect you with all the different parts of your body. Now becoming aware of your body as a whole as you breathe into it. Feeling your legs, your arms, your hands, your spine, your belly and your chest, your throat, your face, your ears, the top of your head. Feeling your whole body as you breathe into it. And simply being here right now with the sensation of breathing into your body, being inside your body. And experiencing whatever comes to the field of your attention from the inside. If at any time you lose track of your breathing, end up in a story, imaginary conversation, simply come back to your focus. And see from that place, from your breath, from your body, from being inside, you can create a small distance, a small gap between your thoughts and yourself, the sensations and yourself, your feelings and yourself. As if you were looking at them from a window inside, staying safely with your breath inside of your body. Now slowly come back, keeping that gentle connection with the breathing. And take a moment to reflect on your experience. And also to thank yourself to take the time to meditate today. And then slowly on your own time, feel your feet on the floor, your hands on your lap. You can stretch a little bit. And then slowly, gently open your eyes. Thank you for taking the time to be with us today, and I hope to see you soon. Namaste.